What?
We'll be live in just a few seconds. Nothing but pool deals today. Big spring deal. Hey, it's Big Spring Deal Day here on Amazon. Hope you are doing well here on this Tuesday. We are going to look at, for the next hour, different deals that I've found this morning on pool cleaning stuff. Robot pool vacuums being like the primary one that we'll find here on deal, but also stuff like chlorine tablets and some other things you can find in the carousel. And so we'll show these via video because they're easier to show it in the pool. Obviously, this many of them in a row. It would be fun to do a live stream next to the pool. I did that once, but I got to say it was a little difficult to pull off because you couldn't use all your, I was using my phone and an iPad, but I might do that throughout the summer. We'll see. But yeah, so make sure you do a few things for me. Make sure you follow so I can celebrate that you follow. Make sure you comment, you unmute, you tap the hearts, and you click on stuff. If you'll do that for me and anybody who might be on a live stream, that would be greatly appreciated. I have a 24-foot round, 52-inch tall above ground pool. It's an Intex pool that I bought here on Amazon last March. I had a previous pool. It was a 22-foot, I think, Coleman pool that we had bought from Walmart. And it didn't last but about 3 years. And so it was time to get another one. And so I've lived the pool life. I've lived it without the robot vacuums. And now I've lived it with the robot vacuums. And I got to say, life with robots is so much better. It's so much easier to clean things and keep your pool clean and stuff. When you are using some of these features and functions of things that are out there. And so let's hop right into it. We'll spend our time over here and let's look at the deals that are out there. And the first deal I see here is the Aiper Scuba SE.
This is the Aiper Scuba.
This is 33% off today.
This is a smaller robotic pool vacuum made specifically for above ground pools. I have a 24-foot round above ground pool. So we're going to use the Scuba SE to try to clean this up. The button to turn this one on is on the bottom. You also will charge it down there. So we're going to push this button. We hear it come on. Now it's ready to go. Push it in. I like to kind of sink it. Let it get down in there.
Get down in there.
And then once it gets full of water, you'll see the flaps on the front and the back. That's what makes it move. And so this will just start moving around the pool, kind of zigzagging around to try to get all the stuff that it can. And when it gets to the sidewall, it will stop and then go back the other direction. This will run for 90 minutes if it's on a full charge on your pool, and then it'll find itself, it'll park against the wall when it gets down to about 10-15% battery life, and then you'll come fish it out and clean. The Scuba SE is finished cleaning. It parked over here on the side wall, so I'm gonna use one of my hooks, and you'll just simply grab it and pull it out. When you do go to pull it out, hold it here at this spot for a few seconds. Let all that water come out. There's no reason.
Evelyn, good to see you. Yes, I am a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, and it pains me most of the last 30 years.
And then now let's take a look at this one's so easy to open. One hand is actually pretty easy. Open it up both sides there. Pull
got the,
this part out. That part you
logo
never really
as a shoulder tattoo.
Over here, we've got some stuff. Her pool wasn't that dirty. We've got some little debris, little bitty things in there, and then we've got some debris on here. So let's go rinse that off. Sometimes you can just rinse all the stuff that's on that white part down in there. And then make sure you rinse all this out. And from here, just simply put this back together. The only aspect of this you have to do is that lip needs to be facing upward. If you try to do it the other way, it won't seat all the way in. Get that seated there. This piece can go either direction it needs to. Pop that side, pop that side, and you're ready to go.
So the Aiper Scuba SE, and a lot of the ones we're going to look at today are going to be designed for above ground pools only, even though technically they say, yeah, you could use it in ground, but it has to be flat. It's just not big enough, in my opinion, to use in ground pools. This is because of the time function. This is going to have a time of 90 minutes that it will clean, and it's not climbing walls or anything. It's zigzagging around the pool, picking up any like leaves and dead bugs and other stuff that might have fallen down to the bottom of the pool, and it'll stir the water up itself. It will, you know, these that have the little cavities on the bottom, there's a couple of them that we'll look at here. They will catch some sand because the way they're made, that sand is heavy and it just falls back in there. So where the basket style ones usually don't catch any sand. So that's kind of a cool functionality of these. I've loved this one. It works really well in our pool. And like I said, we got a big above ground pool, and it doesn't seem to have many issues with it. You do need to keep in mind the limit of the size, 860 square feet on it. It's got a cool vibe and look to it too. 33% off right now at $119.99. So it's a nice price. As we're getting into pool season, that this big spring deal day has kind of hit when it has. So do take a look at that one. The next one is going to be a newer one that I've been playing around with here lately from Co-Steering. And I got to say, the price on it, I'm going to have to figure the price out. I see there's two coupons, a $20 off and a 10% off. This thing is under $100 today. It's the Co-Steering Planet. This is a Co-Steering Planet, that's what this one's called. Robot vac. I wanted to show you here, it's green light means it's fully charged. You do unplug it from the bottom. That's where it catches all the debris and stuff. This is made to go in an above ground pool or a completely flat in-ground pool. Mine's about 24 feet round. To turn this one on, you'll push this button here and hold it down. You'll see it kind of go through the cycle of red. This is only $87.99.
You see that
with this Prime Spring deal because of the coupon.
You do need to
also on the
dunk this one in. Let it help it out.
$87.99.
Let it catch some water. Then you can let it go, and it will sink down to the bottom and kind of kick in. And then what it does, see, this one takes off so fast, like a rocket ship. And what this is going to do is going to pick up leaves and debris and dead bugs and stuff like that might have accumulated on the bottom of the pool. I don't know that there's much down there right now, but it's windy and leaves are blowing in, so I suspect some stuff's going to start sinking. But we'll let this thing run around for about 90 minutes or so while it cleans.
It's 100 minutes. I said that wrong there because most of them are 90.
We'll pull it out of the pool. It's a pretty simple process.
This one's actually 100.
Just going to grab all that debris. It's not grabbing algae, but it will catch small particles because the screen is like 180 particles, so it catches little stuff down in there. There it goes again. Just going to bounce back and forth and get going. So let's see what it does when it's finished. All right, so the Planet has ended its cleaning, and it's parked over here on the side. We've got one of our hooks here attached to our pole, and you're simply just going to pull this up. And then when you grab a hold of this one, there's not any quick release on it. Just kind of hold it there, for a couple of seconds. That water will drain out
There's
fairly
little
quickly.
holes kind of
It's better than draining this all over
that
the
helps you get
floor and or the ground in your shoes and all that sort of stuff. All right, so now that we've got it pulled out, let's take it and go clean it. All right, so to access this, you're gonna pop the clips on all four sides, pull this part off. This part is clean. You don't do anything with it. All right, so let's see what we get inside here. You can see there's some little stuff, little twigs, little bug legs, stuff like that. And then look at that in there. So I'm in here, we've got leaves, we've got dead bugs. I see some moths that must have sunk to the bottom. So now we'll need to rinse this out. All right, we're all cleaned out now, and we'll just place this back on here. It'll get into the little groove and pop down. This one has a groove here that'll need to match up, and then just snap all those back into place, and you're ready to go again with the Co-Steering Planet pool vacuum. It does charge on the bottom. Make sure you dry that before you go to charge them, but this is a good little pool vacuum for above ground pools lower than about 850 square feet.
So the difference in this one than probably the Scuba we just looked at, for one, the price is really low, $87.99 if you used a $20 off coupon and that 10% off coupon. You get the 10% off of that $119.99, then you get the $20 off from there. So $87.99 of that. That is so stinking cheap for a really good above ground pull vac. That is such a steal. Hopefully a lot of people are snagging these today. It's going to run for 100 minutes, which is kind of cool. I also like that the button on this one to turn it on is on the top instead of the bottom. And the four clips, while it might be a little on the annoying side, I really do feel like it really holds it in there tight and holds all the debris and sand and other stuff that it might suck up. I feel like that stays in there a little bit better as well. So that's kind of an extra bonus, if you will, on this one. But charges in about 2.5 hours. It's usually what most of them will take. Some of them will take longer, but this one's about 2.5 hours. Obviously, I love that it's got an orange handle and it's got some orange highlights on it, because it looks good when I'm wearing this out in the pool, So look at this one from Co-Steering. They're kind of a new-ish-er company that the last 2 years I've seen, but I finally have gotten my hands on them here this last month, and I'm really impressed with how they work so far. They have 3 different models. They have this one, the Planet, and the Planet Pro, and then the Nebula. I don't think the Nebula is on the deal today, but the Planet and the Planet Pro, I believe, are, and they're both really good pool vacuums for above-ground pools. Again, this is ideal for above-ground pools up to 850 square feet. So do kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at that. So, all right, we're going to keep moving because we got a lot of deals. I wanted to see what they are today. The next one is going to be another Aper, and it's the Scuba E1. This one's pretty unique.
E1
got a lot
from
of features
Aper
on it.
is the perfect
18% off
robot
today.
Pool vacuum for an above ground pool. I've got a 24-foot round above ground pool. I'm going to put this in. This has what they call the tri-motor system. So you got a motor on one side for that wheel, motor on this side for that wheel. It also will move this brush on the bottom, and then you've got a motor here.
This is good for up to 1,100 square feet, so a big
filtering. This does have a dual
ground
filter system in it. Well, I'll show you when we get done cleaning, but this will clean for about 2 hours on my floor. Your floor does need to be 100 90% flat, so you could use this in an in-ground pool. It's got a certain size limitation you'll have to deal with, but as long as it's not a real big pool, but it has to be flat, like no changes in depth, no changes in height whatsoever. So all I have to do here is hold this down. You hear it beep, and then put it in the water. I like to help it a little bit. Let it start to sink. It's going to start sensing the water once it realizes it's completely full. Try to figure out where it's at, and then here it goes. So you can see it going across the pool.
And this one cleans back and forth, even though it does have,
So
it has two
zigzag around
motorized
the pool.
wheels.
It's going to pick up any leaves or debris that might be on the bottom of the pool, any dead bugs, stuff like that. And then it'll park itself to a side. We'll come back and pull it out and show you what we might get in there. The pool is not real dirty at the moment, but the filtration is going to be so interesting to watch. Taking the E1 out of the pool, you open it up here in the front, little latch there. That'll push all the way back to stay open for you. So your basket is here. Any debris that it might catch will be down in there. And then the big thing I always want to look at is how dirty that is. So let's clean both of these off. You can see this is supposed to be white, right? So I can just start rinsing this off. It's going to get a lot of this out. Turning it over is helpful as well. Normally you'll do this with two hands, but I am recording, so. So it should be much wider than what it was when we pulled it out. We'll put that back down in, clean that out, and then the E1 is ready to go. Got to charge it back up, clean our pool again.
So, I mean, the difference in this one is the fact that it does have those rear motorized wheels. That does let it move around quicker and does help it get over like your wrinkles that you might have in the bottom of your pool floor, and zips around. Just moves around really quickly. And then you add in the fact that it cleans longer. It's like 2 hours, I think. I know 2 hours. So a little like 130 minutes. So you get a little over 2 hours of cleaning on it. But then that micro filter that's built into this one is really interesting because it's going to catch algae, and it's going to catch really light dirt and pollen and other stuff that's maybe falling to the bottom of your pool. You don't get that in pretty much any other vac out there unless it has that filter on it, and there's not many that do. So that's what it was really impressive with this one. Like, I've got this one ready to put in my pool today again because we've had these crazy winds the last 2 weeks, and it's blown in so much dirt. Like, all of our patio furniture and cars are getting covered in dirt, and so the pool gets a lot of it because it's just water and it's just grabbing it, right? And so it's been a constant struggle to kind of keep that dirt off the bottom of the pool floor, even though we're not in it yet. I'm just trying to keep it clean, and so I'll put this one in later on today and let it grab some of that stuff and just help out with the process, right? So really cool pool vac, 18% off today. At $329.99 is where this one is at. All right, so the next two in the carousel are actually the same. They're just a green versus a orange handle, and oh my gosh, the price on them today is pretty ridiculous. So we're going to spend a little bit of time. We'll watch both videos. We'll do the Gosford green one first.
This is the green handled Gosford.
This is 41%
made for above ground
today.
pools. So we're going to toss it in our 24-foot round pool. It does charge here on the bottom. You'll turn it on here. It's got little brushes that kind of sweep the floor. Your openings are here. So if you push the button, you hear it beep and turn on. then you're going to want to put it down in the water and just kind of hold it until you feel like it's filled up, and then let go of it. And look at that, taking off already. Now it's going to move around the pool in kind of a zigzag sort of pattern for about 90 minutes. This is good for a pool up to 860 square feet, and then we'll come fish it back out when it's done, see if it gets any leaves or debris or anything that might be on the bottom of the pool. There's always stuff there you can't see. All right, so the vacuum, when it gets down to 15% battery, parked up against the side here, and then I'll need to go fish it out. It looks like it's pretty clean on the bottom of the pool. I don't see much of anything sitting over there. So we'll use our hook here attached to a pole, and you'll just kind of pull it out. It will pretty much feel like it weighs nothing when you pull it out. Then you pull it out and get it to the top of the water. And then once you pull it out, if you'll hold it here, that'll let all that water out really quickly. And then take it over to where you're going to clean it. When you're ready to open it, you're just going to pull this side, that side, and then set that piece off to the side. You're not going to have to do anything to that. It's going to be clean. And then under here is going to be, oh yes. So look at this. So we've got a bunch of little tiny stuff all over this. And then down in here, we've got a good bit of leaves and I don't know, it looks like little tiny bugs and other things down here. So you'll need to get your hose with a sprayer is what I recommend, and rinse all this out. And this is what it should look like when it's clean. When it comes to this piece here, these pieces have to face upward. It doesn't matter if it goes this or this way, but they do face up. And then the unit just pops back on, and you'll pop that, and now you are ready to move on and recharge it again. So yeah, that's the
So the Gosford is called the LightVac 800 is the technical name for it, but the model number. The last 80 minutes, good for above ground pools only. I don't think these without motors for the wheels I would recommend for an in-ground pool, even though I know some people will try them. Usually your pool's too big and you have depth changes in an in-ground. But so flat pool, no changes in depth. 860 square feet max, which is a smaller in-ground pool for sure. Above ground pool, 24-foot round fits into that, but it's right there at the max, I think. But this one does a good job zipping around the pool, picking up leaves and little small dead bugs and hair and anything else that might have fallen down to the bottom of the pool floor. That's what this is designed to do. It's not designed to pick up algae, and that sort of stuff. That's not what these are made to do. And then what I like about robots, a lot of people, I've seen some people here recently. There's a guy that posts videos, and interestingly enough, he posts review videos, or he's an affiliate, whatever, like I am. But he'll post videos dogging some of these units, which is insane to me that you're trying to make money on units that you tell at the end don't buy them. But if somebody were to buy after watching his video, he would make money off of it. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, because he doesn't even tag the ones he praises. I'm guessing he works for some of these other really expensive pool vac companies, like some that are $1,500 to $2,000. And so I think they're made for in-ground pools. But this one is a robot, and so you got to recharge it. And so what that means, it's going to run for a limited amount of time, 90 minutes, and then it parks itself up against the sidewall, and then you just pull it out and clean it and then recharge it, and you put it back in the next day. This is not one that just is going to sit around the pool and powered up and got a cord everywhere and it's all tangled up in your pool and stuff like that. Which, yeah, I'm sure those do a pretty good job. I mean, that's a big pain to deal with a 40-foot long hose and cord and all that stuff. I don't want to do that. So the Gosford here, 41% off at $99.99 for the green handle. Here's the orange handle one.
All right, I'm here with the Gosford LightVac 800. I'm going to toss it into my 24-foot round pool and see what sort of results we get. It's not real dirty. A lot of sand and junk in the bottom from a storm. So we turn this one on the bottom. You hear it beep, and then I'm literally just going to toss it in the pool. It will start to fill up with water pretty quickly. Watch. Bloop, 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 bloop. It goes down in there. and then that motor's going to kick on, and it's going to start moving around. Now this will kind of zigzag around your pool for about 90 minutes and picking up leaves and stuff like that. Let's watch it kick in. All right, so it's starting to take off now, and it's going to, like I said, it's going to zoom around the pool, doing its thing, and then it'll park itself up against the wall when it gets down to like 15% battery in about 90 minutes, and then we'll pull it out and see what sort of results we get with it. Hopefully there's some leaves in it, some sand, that kind of thing. All right, the vacuum has finished. It's over here near the wall. We'll use our hook to get down in there and pull it up. You will need both hands typically, but if you get good enough at it, you can start to pull it up and grab it like I did. When you do pull this one out, what's really nice about it is there is a quick release there on the front and the back, so it doesn't matter which way you put that bottom on. So if I pull this up, all that water will just pour out of there really quick. So I do recommend just kind of standing here on the side of your pool, 10, 15 seconds. Get all that water out now, just saves you a lot of hassle. So now take this to wherever it is you're going to clean it. All right, so when you want to get into it, all you have to do is grab this side and it pops down. Same on the other side, and then you'll pull the
Thanks
top
for ever
off.
hitting those hearts. I
This
certainly
piece,
appreciate that.
There's nothing to clean there really. It should be clean water and that. And then your screen you will take off, and then you can inspect it and see like there's little hairs, probably from the dog or something that's flown in the air, twigs, little pieces of debris. And then down in the unit we've got a lot of leaves. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly rinse this out with a hose, with a sprayer. And this is what it looks like, all cleaned out. Those little spots that stick up, those have to go on the top, although it doesn't matter if it's this or that way. The other thing that doesn't matter is which direction, lengthwise, that you put the unit back on there. It'll go on either way. And then that will settle down in there. Pop that side. Pop that side, and now this is ready to get recharged again and used in your pool. I think this is perfect for anyone who has an above ground pool, especially when it's under about 850 square.
So again, 860 square feet. Usage on it lasts about 90 minutes, and that's where you'll see in all the different above ground pool vacuums, like it's good for up to this much square feet. That's based on how long it will clean. So battery life on this one is up to 90 minutes. What happens to it, and the reason we even have to say up to 90 minutes, is let's say it hits 15% battery life. That's when it goes and tries to find a wall and parks. That way, it doesn't end up sitting in the middle of your pool and you've got to figure out how to get it. But it could be right against the wall when it hits 15%, and then it just stops. So it may not get the full 90 minutes. So that's kind of the way these robot vacuums work. But I've been impressed with Gosford. I've had them now for about a month, and I've probably put the green handle or the orange handle. I've put them both in the pool at least a dozen times, and every time I'm always impressed with how well they do, how well they move around on my really janky bottom. My pool bottom is like wrinkly like crazy, and that makes it a little more difficult a lot of the times. And even with those, it still does fine. Yes, it gets diverted by those wrinkles. You're not supposed to have them, but it'll just go the other way, and it'll clean it. It'll come back another time, So $99.99 on these right now, regardless if you get the orange. I prefer the orange, obviously, handle or the green handle, but good deal on this one. They're using normally like $170. So right now for $100, you get you a really nice above ground pool. So like if you've got like an 18-foot, 15-foot above ground pool, and you're tired of leaves and dead bugs being in it, like you get this and you just throw it in there every day during the summer especially, man, it saves you so much headache and so much time and energy. Where you don't have to go in and scoop all that stuff out. You let the robot do it for you. We're all about AI in this period of life, right? And this is where that AI really helps you out, is having your little robot. So we're looking at a lot of the robot vacuums today, because a lot of the brands do have them on on sale right now because of the big spring deal. All right, the next one's another one from Aiper that it's geared towards and designed with in-ground pool owners in mind. It's the Scuba S1. I use it in my above ground pool all the time, but really this one is perfect for an in-ground pool.
This is the Aiper Scuba S1 pool vacuum, designed, you know, for in-ground pools specifically, but I do use it, you know, here in my above ground pool all the time. So this has got what they call Caterpillar style wheels, kind of like a tank tire, and then it's got these brushes here in the front. They're going to clean the floor as it's moving, but this also can climb walls and then clean that water line. A couple things else also on it. This is your basket. It's going to have all your gross stuff in it you want to clean out good. You're going to have 4 different cleaning modes. You'll hold this button down. First mode here is auto. Auto mode is going to split its time in half on the walls, half on the floors. So it'll do walls first, then floors, and then park itself when it's done. This mode here is floors only, 100% floors. This mode is 100% walls. This one is like an eco mode. So on the 100% floor and walls, what that does is spend its entire battery life on that particular segment, whatever you put it on, and then when it's finished, down to about 15% battery, it'll park itself against the wall and you pull it out. The eco mode, that's in that 4 slot down over here. I'm going to show you one more time right there. What that's going to do is it'll come on the first day, cleaning the floors for 45 minutes, and then it shuts off. And then 48 hours later, it comes on again for 45 minutes and then stops. 48 hours after that, it cleans again for 45 minutes. So you get 3 45-minute cleaning sessions over a 5-day period. So we're going to put it on floor only. And I'm going to drop this into my above ground pool. You can help it a little bit, sink if you want to. It's heavy enough, honestly. It kind of pushes itself down in, and you'll see it kind of start to like, hey, is there water in me? Like I said, this is fairly dirty above ground pool right now that I'm hoping to get all this cleaned up before a freeze hits, honestly, and get all these leaves out. But we'll watch it take off here. And the blue light means I'm completely charged up. So you want a solid blue light before you drop into the pool. All right, so here it goes. So you can see those front wheels are moving, and it'll end up running into the wall and go, oh, okay, there's a wall there. I don't want to climb it, so I'm going to go back down. And then it'll turn itself around. It only goes in that forward direction where those front rollers are at. That's the only direction it goes when it cleans, because it's scrubbing that floor at the same time, which that spot right there was pretty dirty, so hopefully we'll see it get some of that up. But yeah, so we'll let this run around and see if it can pick up quite a few of these leaves here in our above ground pool. But yeah, there it goes. And I can already see a little streak right to that little streak it just created. Maybe you can see there's bubbles, but between that dirty spots, there's some streaks there that came in. And it's going to clean. It's going to clean for 2.5 hours. I'm here in the pool and just picking up all those leaves, all those debris. It's going to try to do an S pattern on the bottom of the floor. With this being in a round above ground pool, it's not going to be a perfect S, but it's going to be pretty close to that. It's going to try to do its best to overlap itself around the pool and do a good job of cleaning it up. So we'll come back, fish it out, and then I'll show you what kind of leaves and debris it had in it once it's done in 2.5 hours. All right, so I can see the Scuba S1 has parked itself over on the side. It'll do it every time. It'll always self-park against the wall, and if you look across the pool there, all those leaves are gone. So we're gonna go fish it out. So out of the pool, all you have to do is open this part up here, and this is going to be your basket. And if you open that up, you see everything that it picked up. So lots of little pieces of dirt and debris and leaves. So you'll rinse this piece out and then drop it back in there. You won't really have to do any other cleaning, really. You just got to clean that out, and then Once it dries off a little bit, make sure that port on the back is nice and dry. You go back to charging it. That's your Aiper Scuba S1.
So again, the Scuba S1 is a robot pullback with in-ground pulls in mind, because it will clean for like 2.5 hours, picking up all that leaves, all the debris, all that little stuff that's in the bottom of your pool. It cleans the pool floor, as you saw, because those rubber brushes are moving constantly. So it's going to go around and clean that stuff. It also will climb walls and clean the walls, like we can show you here.
This is the Aiper Scuba.
Let me show you it cleaning, the walls
stuff.
This is pretty
Floor
cool.
only mode and a wall only mode. Bearings, making sure it's got water in it, because it doesn't want to run without water. You never want to run it outside the water. So we'll let it kind of. All right, we are started. So this sense that it was against the wall. Look at this.
So that's what it
They're
looks like
working
coming out of the
on.
pool. This is a
that
soft
water
side
line here.
above ground pool, and this is
Just it goes just enough out of the water to clean it. Now it's going to track its way back down. And what I'm hoping, I can see there's a little. Oh yeah, it got it. So my water lines. For some reason there's a little water line. Look at that. You can see the gap that it just cleaned over. So we'll let it go up again. It does this end pattern where it'll come back.
So cleans walls, cleans floors. You can decide to do a combination of both, half and half battery life, or you can just do all battery life on floors, all battery life on walls. Kind of your call. Great vacuum. When I want to ensure, like I've got a ton of leaves maybe in the bottom of the pool, and I'm like, man, I'm not recording today or whatever, and I don't need another video, and I just want to go get it, I'll throw this one in the pool. And I know, because my 24-foot round pool is smaller than 1,600 square feet, that it'll probably cover it twice, and does a fantastic job. My pool is always so clean when I do use this one. So check this one out, 22% off right now. And I just realized that video is, I must have pushed my finger on it and messed that up there. All right, now we have another vacuum from Coast Steering. They're, like I said, I've been testing them a lot here lately, and they're orange, and so I like them.
All right, so I've got the Planet Pro here, and it's completely
This is
charged
a sweet
up.
deal
We're in
today.
Solid
Wow.
green. That's what we want to see.
Lightning deal.
So we're gonna unplug it.
And I think there's a 10% off coupon. It's
And
under $100.
now we are ready to put this one into
This one's better than the
pool.
Planet,
So all you got to
obviously.
do to get this one
It's gonna
started
clean
is to
longer,
hold this
120
button down.
minutes.
See how it goes through all the colors.
And I feel like
And
the
now it's
suction's
showing me
stronger,
green.
too.
Now I've got to put this in the pool. And I would strongly recommend holding on to it, kind of letting this thing fill up with water. You can see it kind of bubbling a lot, shake it around. And once you feel like it's filled up enough, just let go of it. And then it's already kicking in, but now it's there on the bottom of the pool. And we'll see it start to move. Now this one's going to clean for 2 hours. So you get a full 120 minutes of cleaning, which is really good, which means it can clean up to about a 1,300 square foot pool. My pool's a 24-foot round. It's not real well. I've got a lot of dirt in the bottom. I do see some leaves that are in there now. It's been real windy today here in Texas, and sand is blowing everywhere and dust storms. So it's been a little challenge to clean the pool. That's why I'm glad I've got this. So we're going to let it kind of get going here. When it gets to a wall, it's just going to tap up against it, and then you'll notice those flaps. See how that one in the front is going down, and then when it goes the opposite way, it'll turn the other one on. See how the color stopped for a second?
I like that too, because
now that back one's going to come
only the
on.
Coast Steering does this. I don't see this in any other models. Normally, you can see the flaps with the color change thing. That's kind of cool. Just a nice indicator for you to know what's happening.
And it's going to start zigzagging around the pool, kind of in a spoke-ish of a tire sort of pattern, like on a bicycle. My pool has a lot of wrinkles in it, so I do know that it is going to get diverted by those. So I fully expect that, but it'll just start moving around and doing its thing. Like I said, 2 hours it'll clean.
This is on a lightning deal. 40% have claimed it so far. 41% of. I'm
right
seeing
over
a 10%
that leaf.
off
Got
coupon
that one
too.
up. That'll be good. It's moving
gonna go
across
with the
pretty
cart,
well,
yeah.
especially since my pool is
Let's see if
got
that's
so many wrinkles. A lot of stuff where you see all this dirt. That's where it's wrinkled up at.
What? I'm getting this for $82.99 when I go to check out. I don't know where that 17.
So I encountered my ladder, kind of uses that as a wall, if you will. The light on the top will turn white when it sees a wall.
I guess that's 10%.
Then you'll see it kind of stop, and that's when it switches direction. Then it goes
taking
back to
10% off the
color of the battery life. So right now I'm at almost 100%
price.
battery,
Wow.
so that's why it's flashing green. As it goes down, you'll see it go blue and then red. So watch when it hits a wall.
Excuse me while I drink my mid-morning snack.
See, now it's white, so now it knows, oh, it's time to switch. And then it'll go the other way. So what we'll do, we'll let it run its course. 2 hours of cleaning this can do, and then it'll land up against and park up against the sidewall, and then we'll pull it out and see what sort of debris and other stuff we might get out of it. All right, so the Planet Pro stopped kind of underneath my skimmer here, but I can get it with my hook. It always parks up against the wall. Just pull it up real light when it's in the water. And then
I'm getting it for
no quick release on this one, but the water is going to come out really quick.
I'm getting 10% off coupon. It's showing.
Kind of hold it there.
And it's giving it to me off the main price.
I mean, I always suggest letting that drain into your pool so you don't waste that water. And then we'll go open it up and see what we got inside. All right, and on this one, we open it. All you got to do is you'll grab the sides here, and they kind of flex out. So like, just pull it, and that comes open. This end, perfectly clean, because that's all the clean water. And here we want to see what we get. So we got a big leaf there. We've got a bunch of little bitty stuff. Even looks like some probably dog hair or something that flew in the air. It's been so windy that blew in there. And then in here, we got a good amount. So look, we've got a couple of leaves, a lot of sand, because we had a lot of dirt
this was crazy.
Blown in our air, and it could also be coming from my sand pump. But look at that. Wow. So this is all sand. I'm impressed, because that is a lot. I don't see some of the other bigger vacs I've used.
No.
Get that, but look at that. It's all in
there. The vacs
there.
with baskets.
So I'm just gonna get my hose and we'll rinse these off.
It just goes right through
I mean, look at that in the sunlight. It's even more than I thought it was. Wow. I mean, that is murky.
Looks like my chocolate protein shake.
Like weird chocolate milk. And then now we just need to put this piece back on. It's only going to go on one way. The little groove there has to match up. And then same on the bottom here. This has to match up there. And then you just pop that down there. And now this one's ready to go. The only thing I will say is make sure that bottom port.
So this one's really impressive. Dual brushless motors in this thing. It moves around really well, even in my wrinkly pool. Cleans for 2 hours, which is more than the Planet version. And you saw how much sand it got caught in there. I mean, and it's done that a couple of times. This is the first time I'd actually used it. And I've only had this one like not even 2 weeks yet, and I've probably put it in there about 10 times, and it's impressive every single time. I'm like, wow, you did a really good job, guy. I like how it's easy to open because it's just those two flex spots that you just kind of open up, so there's no click, 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 clack kind of thing. Up to good for pools up to almost 1,300 square feet, which is a big above ground pool. I mean, that's a big one. Again, only for above ground pools. I would not suggest it for in ground pools, mainly because most in ground pools do have depth changes. This is not going to climb up a depth change, so don't even attempt it. And like if it went down, it would just never come back up. It would sit at the bottom. But if your pool's flat, then you could consider it for your in ground pool. It's not usually going to catch algae and stuff, but it will catch some sand. It's going to catch the leaves and the dead bugs and those kind of things that have fallen in the pool. But the price on it right now, lightning deal on it, 41% off. And I'm trying to see. I added it to my cart to look at it, and it's showing me that I'm getting, there's a 10% coupon available. I don't know if everybody else sees that or not. It could just be a me thing that maybe I pushed on. Sometimes you get cashed in, like, your Cookied or whatever, and it'll show you those coupons. I don't know if everybody else is seeing the 10% off coupon, but when I did when I just went and added it to my cart, the 10% off gave me the 10% off of the 170, the regular price. So it gave me another $17 off. That's a glitch in my opinion, but take advantage of that. I mean, $82.99 is what it's coming up for me. That is where's my button? Like,
shut up and take my money.
And $83 for a really good pullback. I mean, and here's the thing. I'll get on my soapbox here for a second. Like, if you get one of these, your goal is to put this in your pool every day. Okay? Make that your goal. Is make it a chore of a kid or something like that. Drop it in there every day. Why wouldn't you? Why would you let it sit for a week, a month, or whatever? Put this in there every single day, whether you think your pool is dirty or not. Because there's always going to be little stuff in the bottom of the pool that's sunk to the bottom and you can't see it. Hair and grass and dead stuff, whether it's bugs or, leaves or whatever. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's there. And the other thing, too, is these robot vacuums, when they're on the pool floor moving around, they're circulating the water because they're pulling the water in. And so it's keeping that algae from growing on your pool floor because you get it back into the main part of the water, and then hopefully your filter picks it up. That's why I personally run my pool filter while these are cleaning. Everybody tells you not to do that. I'm opposite of that. I'd rather my pool filter be on, because if, let's say, it does stir up a bunch of dirt or some algae that might be sitting on the bottom of the pool floor, I want that to, when it gets into the water, I want it to flow around and get into the filter. So I leave my pool filter on when I'm running these for the most part. Sometimes I'll forget. I am now. I just upped it today. I have been for the last, I don't know, 3 weeks, running, 3 to 4 weeks. I've been running the pool filter, sand filter we have. Hooked it back up after we got done with any freezes that we might have gotten here. And I was only running about 4 hours a day. Put it on the timer. It has 4 hours a day. But I feel like it's just not getting enough. I'm noticing too many dead bugs, floating, because the bugs just love the thing, right? So I'm upped it to 8 hours today, where it should be on a timer. It'll just run itself 8 hours every day, and then we kind of move on from there. But yeah, this is a great deal. Like, really good deal here on this lightning deal on this. 41% off at $99.99, but I am seeing a 10% off coupon. I don't know if you'll see that or not, but go take a look. But like I said, Coast is kind of a newer brand. I wish their Nebula was on a deal today, because I'm in love with the Nebula right now. The thing is, it's in my pool right now. I threw it in there this morning. It's just a really cool one, but I don't see it on it. But it's like less than $300. All right, Seagull SE.
This is the Aiper Seagull SE.
This is 25%
above ground
off
pool
today.
robot vacuum. What we're going to do is we're going to drop it in here. I had a storm last night, so we've got some leaves in the bottom. I can see a lot of dirt too. So turn this one on, hold it down. You hear it beep. And all you got to do now is just put it in the pool. I do like to push it in, hold on to it, and let it sink. This helps it go a little quicker. And then there it goes. So it's going to just start taking off, and it's going to go back and forth across the pool, kind of zigzagging around, picking up the dirt. Look, you can see that dirt. It just went over. It just got. So it'll just go around the pool here for about 90 minutes, and then we'll pull it out later and take a look at it. All right, so the vacuum has finished its cycle. It's over here. It's parked against the wall. We're going to pull it out with our hook. We'll open it up now. There's a little latch here on the front, and there's one on the back, and then you'll pull the sides, both sides here, just kind of a little bit, and it'll pop it off here. And then you've got your screen here, which is keeping all the debris in there. And let's see what we got. Oh yeah, so we've got a nice amount of debris in there. We've got leaves, We've got sand, all kinds of different dirt, hair. I can literally see a piece of hair right here. So now I just need to rinse this off and put it back together. Now it's all rinsed out. That's what it should look like when it's clean. You'll line all of this back up into its one little slot. Match that piece up like so. Pull on each side here. That'll pop it down. Pop these end pieces. They'll latch back into place. And then now it's ready to charge back on the bottom. So that's the Aiper Seagull SE. Really great way to clean an above ground pool.
So man, I like this one too. This one has been around for quite a while. It's like one of their staples, I think, when it comes to Aiper. I think it looks like a Marvel ship off of the first Avengers movie when Loki came and getting the Tesseract and stuff. Some of those ships look like this, in my opinion. Anyway, this one scoots around the pool really well. It cleans for 90 minutes. I do like the light indicator on the top showing you how much battery life you have, because it'll show you, by percentage. Each light basically is 25%, if you want to kind of look at it that way. And I love that. Most things don't have that, it seems like. Works fantastic. Like I've had really good results with this one. Good for pools up to about 40 feet, which I'm going to say, 24-foot round pool is about as big as I would go with this one. You could probably go bigger, but again, I think, if you get too big of a pool with a smaller pool vac, it's just not going to be able to cover it completely, and you're going to complain that, oh, it's not cleaning, but really it is. It just ran out of battery life. And then you gotta, you're gonna like gripe about it, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, so 25% off on this one right now. Let's see, what do we have next? One we can look at. Well, I said I was gonna go an hour. We're getting close to that. Let's see, what is this one? For some reason I have I have Aiper Scuba SE in here twice. Is this like this may be the refurbished ones? Yeah, so if you do want an interesting deal, the Aiper Scuba SE right now is in the carousel, and it's their refurbished ones. It's only $90. It's pretty good. Looking at my here we go. Let's is this the? I think this one that I just pulled up should be the Y-Bot. Let's see. Is that the Y-Bot? Oh, no, that's not Y-Bot. That is a good price, though. Hang on. I'm trying to find the Y-Bot. I thought I had the Y-Bot in here. But maybe I don't. Thought I did. But that's a really sweet deal. Another pool that's in here, and it's not a pool that I have, but the Best Way. I really struggled when we were looking at getting a new pool last year, because ours was leaking, and it was from it had those silly windows in it, that I so regret getting that one with the window. We didn't know any better though. Best Way is the one that I looked at, and I weighed back and forth between that and Intex. Best Way is a little bit cheaper, and this is a sweet deal. It's a 14-foot, so it's not a huge pool by any means. Typical small backyard pool. 33% off today. That is a really great deal on that one. If you got a dog, and I think I had one of these, and I've been tempted to get another one just because I couldn't get my dog to get in this, to be quite honest with you. She was like not having any of it. But kind of a cool little design. The way it's made is it folds up. I don't know if it shows you anywhere here. So it'll fold up for you. So if you want to travel with it, you can. But it's a small little, pool for either to bathe your dog in or let them just play around in. And they've got different sizes of them. Kind of a unique idea and a fun idea to let, your dog get in it and splash around. Or little kids could do it as well. But this small one here is only $13 today. When it comes to chlorine, I probably did have a video somewhere here on chlorine tablets. And I may have to, I'm actually needing to buy some, so I'm glad to see these are on sale today. Clorox is what I lean towards. I've used HTH. That's what I'm finishing up, a bucket of HTH right now. But I really like these. I've always feel like with the extra blue tablets from Clorox that it's just a little bit better. Maybe it's just the way they're made. Maybe they're tighter. I don't know. One of the things too with these is I don't know if they show it here. Trying to see if it shows it. These are supposed to be individually wrapped, which is new for them this year. They used to not. Usually they were just stacked in. That's how most of these are. So which means you have to touch them, and you're supposed to wear gloves. I never do. I just grab them, then I rinse my hand off in the pool. And yeah, my hand smells like chlorine, and it's bleached pretty hard for a day, and I probably have ruined my skin. I ruined shirts a lot, but this is a good deal for the 5-pound bucket. That's probably, I forget how many tablets are in a 5-pound bucket. I'm trying to think. I don't know if it'll say. No, it doesn't say. It's not a lot, but for me, I wonder if the 35-pound is on a deal. Oh, 24% off for it. How much is a 25-pound? 17% off. So you can see here the percentage off is greater. The 16-pound is not a great deal. Well, it's a little bit good because you can buy 3 of these for that. Yeah. I don't know percentage wise. So it takes 7 of these. So if you do the math here, it would take 7 of these 5-pound buckets to equal this 35-pound. So 7 times 31 is what? 200 and what is that? 212, 15. Well, no, but yeah, about $230. 35-pound bucket's only $129. So you're better off buying the bigger one, and then you just got it. You don't have to worry about it. I may end up grabbing this one. This is pretty cool. And this is when if you do the subscribe and save, and you can determine how often you do those subscriptions. Like for me, I would think a 35-pound tub would get me through most of the summer. If I was paying attention, maybe I need 2 of them. So yeah, I think this is one I'm probably going to try out, and I'll probably do it on a subscribe and save. I don't have to forget about it. 6 months is their most common. The cool thing is on subscribe and save sometimes, because I do a lot of subscribe and save. If I say I need this, let's just see like if it does every month. Does the price go down? Because sometimes they will. This one doesn't look like, but sometimes you can see that on it. But I really like Clorox. If I'm looking at the tablets out there that I've dealt with, Clorox is the ones that I really dig. I don't know if any of my videos are on this one. I'm just kind of curious now because I've done a lot with them. Yeah, look, there's one right here.
All right, this is a 25-pound bucket.
So here's what the 25-pound bucket
Clorox Extra Blue chlorinated tab. So when you do get it, you'll have a little tab pull on each side of the bucket. It's a big bucket, open right here, and these will come unwrapped and just stacked in there. Clorox seems to be the best as far as
they're
I'm
saying
concerned.
They're individually wrapped now, so they may have changed. This is what it used to look like,
and keeping your water, crystal clear.
This was a year ago.
So what you'll do is you'll take one of these, and then you're going to drop however many you think you need for your pool. You'll drop into your floater, or if you've got a above ground pool, you'll put them in there. But 25 pounds, for about a 13,000 gallon pool, typically will last most of the summer for me. So yeah, love the Clorox Extra Blue chlorinated tablets. The 25-pound is definitely worth the buy.
Yeah, this is interesting. So when I bought that, they weren't individually wrapped. They're saying they're individually wrapped now, which is safer. You just have to keep up with the trash. So make sure you throw the trash away. Because what that lets you do is, like when you're putting them in those floaters, it lets you hold on to them that way and then drop it in there so you don't have to touch them. That is intriguing. I'm going to leave this open because I'm probably going to end up buying one of those because I know I'm about to run out of my HTH ones right now. Let's see. I've hit an hour. I want to see if there's anything else I did want to mention. This little pool vac is up for like $95. I had an older version of this one before. It's an interesting look to it. I think it's for really small pools, like 645 square feet is the maximum on this one. So, but the interesting thing, and this is when I really want to, I'm tempted to buy this one today because of this. It's got a cotton foam kind of tray in it, which is supposed to help catch the smaller stuff, and that's kind of intriguing to me. Because I do get that little dirt and stuff in there, so I'm kind of thinking about it that this might be one worth testing and trying out. It's only $95. So yeah, another one to kind of consider if you're looking for a pool vacuum. That might be one worth looking at. You'll see some other bigger ones in there from Wybot that are on really good deals right now, 20% off. Trying to see if there was any that were bigger than 20. Aper's got the Scuba S1 Pro. What did they have it off right now? It's 23% off. I really want to test one of these. This thing is a beast, it looks like. And it runs with the app at 180 minute. It does a horizontal wall waterline cleaning, which is pretty cool. So it's definitely one that I'm curious on. And then they just launched their X1 model. Oh, why does my screen share look so weird now? It didn't. They just launched this X1 model. This just came out literally a few days ago, officially. This thing, 6,600 gallons per hour. It's got a really interesting filtration system on it, and it's got this like a docking station, if you will. So it's made to catch the small particle. Oh, that's pretty cool. Multi-layer, but it's got like that, and I think there's like some kind of I thought there was a docking station with this one. Yeah, like a that's how it charges. It sits on this little charger, so you don't have to do a plug. But it's a little bit of an investment. But boy, 21% off today is not a bad deal on it. So yeah, so I think we're gonna call that done for our pool deal stream this morning. I will keep looking at them, and I'll probably be live a couple of times today and tomorrow and Thursday. But yeah, I'm glad to see some of these pool vacs on really good deals. Some of them are super, super cheap. That Co-Steering Planet Pro, if it's holding true, I got another 10% off. So I got it for like $83 if I were to buy it right now. That is super cheap. That's the best deal if everybody can get that coupon. Otherwise, I would probably look at like the Gosford vac at $100, or the other Co-Steering Planet vac. I think it was at like 87 or 89 or something like that. So look around there in the carousel. There's a lot of cool little pool vacs for above ground pools, and there's a few in there that we didn't look at that are specifically for the in-ground pool market, but that is worth taking a peek at. So some really nice deals today here on Big Spring Deal Day. I'll see you later on. Make sure you slap that follow button for me. I'd appreciate it. See ya.